Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. My name is Blake Cousins, and we're live on the radio taking your calls in regards to the UFO phenomenon. If you've witnessed a UFO for yourself, now's the time to report it, and we'll share it with the world right now. The number to call in is area code 347-934-0378. And this November 10th, Sunday, there's going to be a major event happening right there in Hollydale Park, Los Angeles, California, in Third Phase of Moon, along with our correspondent right here, Dr. J. Andy Elias, is going to be there. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon, Dr. J.
How you doing, Blake?
Doing good. We're just this November 10th Sunday event, Hollydale Park. Everybody be there around 10:30 in the morning. We're going to have 4 UFO summoners right there on location. Mr. Robert Bingham, the man himself who claims he can summon UFOs and teaches people how to do it. We've been contacted by 3 other people who claim that they've learned how to summon UFOs from Robert Bingham. Now they could do it. They're submitting video, and they're all going to be at the same place, same time, summoning UFOs for the public, and the skeptics all alike are welcome to come. Dr. J, you're going to be there. What do you think's going to happen? The crowd's going to be quite big? Are we going to see something in the skies that day?
I truly think this is going to be a remarkable event, and here's why. Each of these individuals by themselves are able to do something, and when we had Stan Romanek right here on this very show a few months back, he was talking about the Maharishi effect, where if one person meditates, you get 1 unit of meditation. If 10 people meditate, it goes up exponentially to about 100, or maybe 1,000. The point being, when you have 4 people meditating and summoning on the same thing, I expect the results to be far superior than to just one of them doing it on their own.
Well, this scheduled summoning, we're inviting the public and everybody to show up with their cameras and be ready. And Third Phase of Moon is going to be standing by, taking your videos as it's submitted on that day, broadcasting live from Third Phase of Moon with Dr. J holding it down, getting the interviews. And like you said, this combined effort, this 4 people summoning, I think something's going to be happening right there, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's go to our next caller right here. Third Phase Moon, welcome, 562, area code.
Hello, this is Fausto Perez. How you guys doing, Dr. J and Blake?
Good.
So are we getting prepared for Fausto Perez is one of the men that's going to be there, the main event, summoning UFOs, November 10th, Hollydale Park. Fausto, what are your expectations for Sunday?
I am very excited. I've gone to Robert's summonings, and he gets so many UFOs. I just saw the video you put up of, what was his name, the 4th guy who said he's coming to help us summon, who put up that great video of the 2 tubes that just made these awesome shapes and then the orbs that appeared with it. I'm excited to have him there, and Jim Martin and me have been in contact.
Mr. Jonathan Castro, another man that...
Castro, yeah.
That was an amazing interview we had yesterday. Go ahead, Fausto.
Yeah. I'm just very excited to see the results that all 4 of us get. Like Dr. J. Andy Elias was saying right now, that once 4 people are meditating, it's just exponentially multiplied. So I can't even imagine or fathom the results that we're going to get that day. But everybody who comes, bring your best camera that you have. If you have an attachable zoom for an SLR camera, bring that. Help us as best as we can to get the evidence of what will show up that day.
And Blake, let me just add that this is just the beginning. Fausto's mission, along with everybody else's mission, who at least were saying this, what they want to do is to teach others to summon. That way, there could be a day where all across the globe, in major cities, people are summoning UFOs that very same moment, that very same day, at the same time around the globe. And that's what the ultimate long-term goal is. But as far as short-term, in 3 days, I expect it to be extremely amazing, Blake.
Well, you pretty much nailed it right on the head. We get a lot of emails and correspondence in regards to the summoners saying, why don't they just land and summon right there over, Washington, D.C. and over the White House? Wouldn't that be kind of interesting? And with this world event, having them all over the state capitals and the people participating, hey, that could be the greatest show on Earth, I would imagine.
Let me throw one comment. You said, why don't they land on the White House lawn? Well, as a matter of fact, they flew over the White House and the state capitol not once, but twice in the same week. It was photographed by several photographers. It appeared on the cover of major newspapers in July of 1952. So people asked for it, and they came.
What about this law that's out there that, prevents law enforcement to coming in contact with alien beings? Can you go into a little bit more detail on that law?
Yeah, it's not just law enforcement, Blake. This is a law that was written by NASA, and it applies to every U.S. citizen, that says the intentional contact of an extraterrestrial race is a felony punishable by $10,000 fine and 5 years imprisonment.
So
for what reason, we don't know. But obviously, if they're saying aliens don't exist on one hand, but on the other hand, oh, by the way, if you come in contact with when we're going to arrest you, what does that say?
Well, these people are claiming that they might be spiritual beings, and it's like, well, you want to speak to your God and talk to God. Isn't that kind of reaching out to a possible extraterrestrial being, and therefore religion is a felony in itself? That's absolutely ridiculous.
I completely agree with you, and if you look through the Bible and every other holy book from every major religion, it is filled with inferences and examples of gods coming from the sky. 3,000 years ago, they could not say, oh, it's an airplane. When they see something metallic with fire glowing and flying and landing, the only thing that flew before that was birds. So to them, it was gods. And every time they make a reference to an angel or a god or a wheel within a wheel, as Ezekiel said, you can pretty be sure that those are flesh and blood extraterrestrials.
Well, I want to get Fausto's take on this. Were you aware of this NASA law? And now that you've heard that, have you changed your mind?
I've been hearing things about it, but I'm not really afraid of it. If they come out and try to arrest any of us for doing this, then they're just helping us to prove the cause that it's actually real. And then I don't know how they would go along with it, since I'm doing this on a religious basis. Nobody else has to do it on a religious basis, but I'm using it as a context to get closer to God. So they would be taking away one of my amendments of being able to follow a free religion. So I could just take it to the Supreme Court and defend myself, the First Amendment.
Absolutely fantastic conversation we're having in here at the Third Phase of Moon radio show, and we're taking calls from around the world. We're going to welcome area code 212 to the show. Welcome.
Hey, Blake, I've been listening in, and I don't know about religion or summoners, but I read in the news this week that the asteroid that landed in Russia earlier this year, the tremendous landing in the lake, that the word is that there's going to be more and more and more of that, and there's been more of that in the last 5-10 years than ever before. I wonder if anyone has anything about scale, the size of that, because that thing was huge in the pond. What about the scale of what they're going to see if they're going to call these UFOs out? What can we exactly expect to see in terms of scale and light? Describe what we're going to see.
Well, I'm going to leave that to the UFO summoners. As far as there was some news that was coming in that just within the past 5 years, the asteroid activity has just gone higher than any time in the past 100 years, and we expect to have a lot more in the next 5 years, and that could be disconcerting. But as far as what we will be seeing over there in Hollydale Park, November 10th, Sunday, 10:30 in the morning, Fausto Perez, we're going to have our cameras ready. Your eyes are going to be on the sky. What are we looking for up there?
Just keep your eyes ready. With these things, they reveal themselves to you. You'll look up for some reason. You don't know why you look up to any certain direction, but you'll see a clear sky for 1 second, and all of a sudden an orb will appear. So if they do come, they'll reveal themselves to you. But there's many different shapes. I've seen many different types of UFOs that have shown up. So just keep your eyes for something that's unexplainable. Just like the context says, it's an unidentified flying object. So if you see something that's flying, it's unidentified, then you'll be certain that you're spotting something that day.
What do you think your take on, it's going to be an exciting day there, November 10th, right there at Hollydale. Dr. J, this, asteroid activity happening, I think maybe the government, if they did know that we were going to be in imminent danger, that they would let us know?
Well, I got a couple comments with that. Going back to Wernher von Braun, the father of the NASA program, he was basically responsible, a former Nazi, for putting the man on the moon. And he said back in the 70s that there will be a war on terror. Then there will be a fear that they're going to impose on us from asteroids hitting us. And the last card they were going to play, according to his speechwriter and his manager, Carol Rosin, was that they will fake a false flag of aliens attacking us. And that's why people such as Stephen Greer are out there trying to teach people a similar method, just as Fausto is using, to make their own contact. That way, when this false flag goes down, people can tell the difference between the fake aliens, which are, according to Dr. Greer, that they're genetically manipulated humans with human craft, versus the actual real ETs who are waiting for us to develop to join the Galactic Federation. Now, again, what can we prove about that? But that's just what's been postulated.
We're getting a lot of feedback right here at Third Phase Moon about Comet Ison, and a lot of them are thinking it's a return of the planet Nibiru, and there's a possibility that there might be spaceships next to it. There's some video out that there are spaceships flying around it. What's your take on, Comet Ison and through the chatter line? What have you heard, Dr. J?
I don't know about that, but I can tell you that yesterday, right in Los Angeles, California, Southern California, there was a humongous fireball that traveled very slowly, and it changed color, flashed twice, very inconsistent with an asteroid or a meteor coming in. Of course, the NASA astronomers, brushed it off as just something plain that happens, but it reminded me of the Russia, except it wasn't that big and it wasn't during the day. But nonetheless, two of them in less than a year. I mean, how in the past 10 years, how many times have you seen such videos? And you could clearly tell when there's a meteor shower or a comet versus something that's truly unexplainable. And I think this is one of those that's on the fence of, is it natural or is it truly extraterrestrial? Some people say that the Russia meteor was not a meteor, that it was a giant mothership that was coming in for a crash landing because we shot it down. That's just one theory, but it gets the gears rolling in your mind.
Absolutely. And, there is going to be an event that NASA's saying on November 10th, which is quite interesting. Maybe, who knows if it's true or not. Obviously, we're not sure exactly what comes out of NASA all the time. But in all respect, they're just saying that there's this satellite coming out. It's going to be coming in and it's going to land somewhere, maybe here on planet Earth, and they're not exactly sure where it's going to land. So everybody, November 10th, heads up in the sky for the falling satellite. But let's not get it confused what's going to be going down in Los Angeles, Hollydale Park, 10:30 in the morning, the men that summon UFOs. Fausto, what was your take on that new footage from Mr. Jonathan Castro of these tubular formations, and then all of a sudden they release like two small orbit UFOs? Some people compare it to maybe it's some kind of life form of some kind.
Well, the orbs that showed up, I've seen those before. The tubes, I have never seen them, so I wouldn't have no idea what to comment on them, but they're very interesting in the way that they moved and how they split up and created those shapes. But I wouldn't know what to say about it. I would like to see it in person because it would just be astonishing to see it with my own eyes.
Well, it was an incredible video and very strange and unusual objects in the sky, something I've never seen myself. People easily could dismiss them off as like balloons, but hey, it didn't react like any kind of balloon that I saw. Balloons they're not shot out of a tube and then down. They usually would rise, you would imagine, and it seemed like they were intelligent in the way they were flying around. Dr. J, your opinion on this video?
I think it's an amazing video. I truly do, because it's very inconsistent with what's natural. And again, like I said, I'm on the fence on these because it really could be what they want it to be. Now, many people say that these extraterrestrial craft can morph into any shape they want to cover themselves. Well, what better way to bring a mass ship onto the Earth and maybe go into its underground base in the cover of a meteor. I think that would be a great idea, and clearly they're intelligent, and that might be one of the ways they're getting here, bypassing the panic that could ensue from this.
Well, we're getting some feedback right here at Third Phase Moon, and what you just said about disguising in the tail of a comet, there was a movie that came out before these Hellbob fanatics went out there and did their, they're ready to go on board a spaceship, and then they did their mass suicide. Absolutely horrific. But
let me throw in one thing major there. The Heaven's Gate was committed suicide because of the Hale-Bopp comet, right? And they said that there was a UFO passing behind it. Well, guess what? There was a giant UFO, and everybody knows the UFO that came from the Hale-Bopp comet. You know what it was? It was the Phoenix Lights, Blake.
Wow.
If people put the time together, they will see that the people committed suicide literally hours, if not days, maximum, of when the Phoenix Lights occurred.
There was a rendition of a movie that was made about 3 to 4 years before Hellbopp, the event, and the movie Life Force portrayed a movie about NASA exploring Halley's Comet, and they went into the tail of the Halley's Comet and found a spaceship, and they were inside the spaceship. They were perfect human beings, basically like gods, the Anunnaki, but they would suck the soul life out of you. They changed it up, but it was an interesting movie. Everybody should take a look at Life Force, one of the coolest sci-fi movies out there, directed by Toby Hopper, the guy that did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but he learned a lot after he worked with Spielberg from Poltergeist. But now let's get back to, some of the chat coming in from let's see, right here. His name is Tommy, and he wanted to know about the video that we just posted right here at Third Phase of Moon this morning about the Alien Dental cast. We did the interview. Go ahead, Dr. J. You know a lot about this dental casting and the circumstances behind it.
That is a remarkable story. Let me just throw in one little small disclaimer or fact. Don Schmidt and Tom Carey continued the research of Roswell after Stan Friedman really broke the case back in 78 with Jesse Marcel. And Kevin Randall was one of the original researchers, but Tom Carey and Don Schmidt, they appeared right here on Third Phase of Moon Radio for an exclusive interview. And what they said is, of the 4 explanations, the first being the flying saucer, second the weather balloon, third mogul, fourth crash test dummies, there's only one that has witnesses, and that is the first one, the flying saucer, and not just a few witnesses, but over 600 and still counting. Now, in 1979, let's backtrack. 1947, after the Roswell crash happened, the Foreign Technology Division, which was the laboratory capable of reverse engineering stuff, was at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Well, again, this just goes to show how compartmentalized things are. When they were in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in 1979, a military officer showed up at a dental technician and gave him a mandible and said, "Make us an impression of this." Well, he went out to wash it, and he said usually there's, blood, saliva, and all the other stuff coming off a body, but this one was just clean, bone dry, right? So he made the cast, he gave it to them, and then they told him to destroy the mold. He crumpled it up, threw it in the trash can. When the military officer left, he was smart enough to take it back out, fix it back up again, and he got it spot on. And now it's in display at the Roswell Museum, for those of you who didn't know. I didn't know until this. And it's compared next to a human mandible. Now, I also must say that this mandible, that came from the Roswell crash with the bodies, does not match any jawbone of any primate on this earth. And that's one of the more remarkable things. And the best part about it is, had we had the actual bone, we can do some DNA analysis, but we don't. We just have the impression of it and the actual size. And when it's superimposed on the Gray's the small grays, the ones that people call the sentries, or the ones that take them from the rooms, it's identical in size, and it fits perfectly. I mean, if someone was to hoax this, and who would hoax this? What military colonel would go out of his way to hoax something like this in order it to be destroyed? Obviously, this was leaked out, so I think that's just a remarkable story right there, Blake.
Well, I think there are different kinds of life forms and anomalies, entities, interdimensional beings that we have no idea what they're all about. And what's happening with Robert Bingham and the Summoners, I have maybe no relation what was going on in Roswell and Area 51. And I think that's my opinion on this. But we're going to go to area code 212 from New York. Has something to say? Go ahead, 212.
Yeah, again, I just calling in, and I was listening to everyone, what they're saying, and I just wanted to think that, these guys are going to summon these UFOs, and they're going to come in the sky. It's amazing. But if what they're saying about the asteroid traffic being true, all I can say is we better hope that the UFOs come, and we can't be depending on our own military, our own governments to protect us. And I think there is a correlation between the increased asteroid activity and the eventual contact with someone, the UFO, because they're going to be the only ones to be able to help us.
Well, I think what area code 212 said was basically nailed it on the head. The technology, we don't even have enough people keeping our eyes on the skies looking for these global devastators taking us out. And thank God for the people that are doing it, but we're way understaffed, much less trying to prevent one and striking us. People have the theory that the ancients, the aliens, the technology are going to help in case something like this goes down. What do you think about that, Fausto?
If something like that does go down, I do hope they would be able to help us. I constantly ask them to prep us from things. I don't know if it's coincidence, but I notice that they help me around my life a lot of times. As in, like you were saying about the law that just passed about not being able to contact UFOs, I've noticed that recently everywhere I drive around my house, there's black choppers flying back and forth as if they're surveilling it. And everywhere I drive in my car, I have black choppers flying over me. And I ask them if they are trying to, if by some chance or possibility, they are trying to arrest me or take me in to keep me, to make it impossible, how they not do it. And the big coincidence happened yesterday. It gives me an idea that they kind of are expecting if this is happening. I went to go to a restaurant to eat, and I left it around 10:15 from the restaurant, literally at around just like 5 minutes after that, my friends texted me who were hanging out at the same place. There was sworn police that swarmed into the restaurant where I was in. Who knows why they showed up, but it's possibly they were there trying to come and make some excuse, and I got out.
Let me get this right now. The men in black are using black helicopters, possibly? Is possibly your theory?
Possibly. Could be them, but all I've noticed is it's just been black helicopters. I've seen them every day, honestly, wherever I go. I've been capturing them on video, but I wouldn't want to make any claims that they're actually after me or anything. It's just this theory. Because I've never noticed them before. I've never seen them before. I've never seen black choppers flying around my area until recently after I started summoning.
Well, let's ask ourselves, what do you think would be the concern for that kind of law enforcement or what have you to be interested in any of this? The government theory is that they're not even investigating UFOs anymore. They dropped that long ago. Dr. J.
You know what's sad? It's John Greenwald actually uncovered documents that they have not stopped studying UFOs. Officially, Project Blue Book ended in 1969 after a 3-year report from the University of Colorado by Dr. Edward Condon, who was a huge skeptic and even was quoted saying early on in the first year of the 3-year study, my conclusion is already made that there's nothing there, but I'm not supposed to tell this conclusion for another 2 years. Nonetheless, that was the end of the public charade for showing us that they're investigating. However, John Greenwald has uncovered that it never stopped. The FAA, then JANAP, Joint Army-Navy Coalition, took the reports, and then recently it became private. When you want to report a UFO sighting officially and you call the U.S. government, do you know where they refer you to? Bigelow Aerospace.
Well, the Bigelow Aerospace, the man is absolutely a very interesting enigma of a person. We've been trying to get interviews with Mr. Bigelow, and he has all kinds of knowledge that we're not getting to the public, I think. He took over Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch has a big history behind phenomenon of, paranormal to extraterrestrial. And what he's doing, he's building his own space stations, and he's able to weaponize space. The United Nations says no country shall have that right, but for some odd reason, he has that right. We're not exactly sure why. We'd sure like to know why Mr. Bigelow wanted to get the information from MUFON, because Third Phase of Moon gets a lot of information that he might be interested in. But the story is that he knows he found what he was looking for, so he's moving along. And, well, that's something we would sure like to know what he found out. Obviously, the world would like to.
Absolutely, and he's kind of stayed under the radar, but he did pop up to do an exclusive interview with George Knapp. Now, we do have two friends that are very close with him. We're trying to use our Third Phase of Moon assets and friends to get to Bigelow to actually sit him down and speak with him, ask him the hard questions. We're still trying. We can't make any promises it's going to happen, but we can assure you, all the listeners out there, that the friends of the Third Phase of Moon that are in direct contact with him and good friends with him are actively trying to get us this interview.
Absolutely. I think with the collaboration between Bigelow, Third Phase Moon, and the connections, the world would, be maybe in a faster pace to get to where we want, and that's free energy and the knowledge of whether we're alone or not. I'm pretty sure everybody listening here knows that question, but that answer. But people out there definitely need to wake up and have an open mind. Looking forward to this November 10th event, Sunday, Hollydale Park, California, the summoning, the mass summoning. All the people that have learned it from Mr. Robert Bingham will be there. Fausto, Perez, Mr. Jonathan Castro, Jim Martin, and Robert Bingham will be there. Dr. J, give everybody the directions to show up to Hollydale.
I don't have the directions, but Fausto does, because it is his neighborhood. I could just tell you it's in the Paramount area, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we're going to be putting it up on Google. Everybody's going to see the map right here below. How far from LAX? Fausto?
From LAX, I'd say a good 20 minutes. It's actually in the city of Southgate. If to find it easily, I posted an event page on my Facebook page, facebook.com/UFO Summoning, and you go to the event section. The event is posted there with the link to the location and the date and the times that the summoners will be there to host the event for the public.
The summoners will be there. There's 12 million people just within that vicinity alone. People show up with your cameras. Let's get the message out that there is something going on in this world that everybody needs to know, that we're not alone. Everybody, I want to thank everybody. Dr. J, any last words?
Yes, just a reminder for everybody to listen to Third Phase of Moon Radio every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at freedomslips, SLIPS.com. As you know, Blake, we have top-of-the-top guests in ufology, and we are always looking for people to give us requests, and we'll get the guest, and we'll have them on the show, and anybody can interact. So if they want to call in, it's 818-923-1713. But more importantly, listen at freedomslips.com Thursdays, and then watch Third Phase of Moon for an awesome video about it.
Thanks again, Dr. J, right there from Los Angeles, and also from Los Angeles, California. Fausto, any last words for the Third Phase of Moon viewers and listeners?
Yes, any skeptics who have seen the video, I understand where you're coming from. When I first saw this, I was a skeptic. That's why I had to go see it with my own eyes. So I suggest you do what I did. Come out to an event. Hopefully this grows and there will be an event near you if it's too far for you to get to. But if you're interested to learning how to do this to yourself, there's going to be 4 of us there. So talk to any of us. Ask us how we do it. Try it yourself. Try it when you go home and see if you can learn. If you can learn, teach everyone that you can and start hosting your own events. Let's make this viral so everyone has a chance to see it with their own eyes and open their eyes to the truth.
Mr. Fausto Perez, Host Summoner, be there. Hollydale Park, November 10th. Witness for yourself the UFO event. Bring your cameras. Have your eyes on the skies. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see everybody again next time.